My name is Andrew, and I can type at 150 words per minute. This is Marques. How fast can you type?
121?
I've seen better from you. But I've created 6 exercises that can make you at home type as fast as both of us. 3 of them are super simple, proven. In fact, everyone at the studio did them, and you'll see those results at the end of the video. Other 3 of them are a little more mad science-y, and I'm hoping it can make you better in like less than 10 minutes. All right, so this is Tim and Adam, and they've been so kind to let me run a couple tests on them. Now, I've come up with a couple ideas, and I think I can make their typing speeds improve in just a couple minutes. But first, we're gonna have to take a couple control tests just to see what we're working with.
Sorry. Explode.
Wait, I'll do it again.
3, 2, 1, go.
That was not good.
Okay. Not too bad. You guys?
Did I win?
No.
What?
You're not that far off. You beat him.
Yeah.
But we've got lots of room for improvement. So let's do our first test. So, right off the bat. So the first of these 3 challenges, I've had this idea in my head that correlates to baseball. In baseball, you used to see batters warm up with these weighted bats before they got to the plate. So I thought, if I make somebody a weighted keyboard, maybe after warming up on that weighted keyboard, when they go to a normal one, we could see a faster speed. So these are 2 almost identical keyboards, except I swapped all of the springs out of this one, so it actually requires 3 times the actuation force to press a key.
That one's also orange. Tell me
when. All right, Adam, this is your heavier keyboard. You are going to take a 30-second typing test, and then immediately after, we're gonna swap to this one and take a 15-second test to see what our results are.
Oh my God. What the Dude, this is a workout. Oh, come on.
64 words per minute, so we're only 2 slower than you were before. He's locked in, Adam. I'm sorry.
He doesn't even have any Saratoga water. That's crazy.
He's gonna get like 100.
71, so a little bit slower. Okay. But let's see what happens. Yeah.
Oh my. This is way easier, but I just suck at typing.
75.
Okay.
Look at there. What, that's 10 more words a minute than before?
Roughly.
Rookie sensation Tim McMahon at the bat.
It actually sounds like you're on a mic right now. It's weird.
Okay. Not great. Actually worse than your weighted test. So the weighted test didn't quite go as planned. But I'm not really that surprised because the whole baseball weighted bat thing was debunked in like 2011. So that's on me. As much as the results didn't work, for Adam, I actually think that test helped him more than he thought because he didn't look at his keyboard at all. What I really wanted them to focus on was the accuracy and focusing on each individual key press, kind of like creating a harder muscle memory. And the way you can do that at home is actually this website called keybr.com. This website is phenomenal, especially if you're just learning how to type. All you have to do is take this test, and KeyBR realizes kind of the letters and the areas of the keyboard that you're struggling in, and then feeds you personalized tests to get better and more comfortable with typing without looking at your keyboard. So for our next test, I've created arguably the most visually distracting typing test possible. And what I'm looking for is for you guys to focus on what you need to type rather than how you're typing. And we're gonna take a 30-second test of that, and then we're gonna come back and take another normal test and see if we see any change.
Okay, all right.
Ready? 3, 2, 1.
What
what is happening?
Okay, cool.
That was impossible.
Let's see. 48 words a minute. That's actually pretty consistent.
That's really good.
You found your groove there. Let's see. Adam, 26 words a minute. That's pretty tough.
Wow.
Ready?
God, I pray
3,
this works.
2, 1.
I did worse than that last test.
Okay, so what we're learning so far is Adam's really good at games and focusing on what to do better, and Tim, under the pressure, might not be doing quite as good. For Tim, that was just kind of a tough one, yet we'll get him next time. So monkey type, which personally I think is the best typing website on the planet, has this amazing set of settings and a place called Funbox, which has a bunch of different special modes you can do. So there's stuff like nausea and arrows and choo-choo that kind of just send everything flying. But if you want something a little more practical, the read ahead mode is super useful. So the most practical mode is called read ahead, and it's really fun because it actually hides the next word as you're typing, which kind of forces you to have this muscle memory for almost every word in the dictionary. So the more you practice, you read the word, your fingers start typing it, and you're already reading the next word. On Monkey Type, if you want to practice your muscle memory, you can actually make a custom test that includes words you type all the time, like this. Subscribe to the studio right now. So for our last test, we're going to focus on sound. So typing is like a flow state. You need to be in a rhythm. You need to be in a groove. If you go into a typing test trying to be Max Verstappen, you're gonna get Lance Stroll results.
I don't get that reference.
Thank you. What if we could artificially improve the groove you're in with some music? You know, music has beats per minute, typing has words per minute. Okay. If we increase the beats per minute, can we increase your words per minute?
That logic is flawless.
I don't see how it could fail. I set both of you up with a 1 minute typing test. We're gonna play the music, you're gonna start typing, and we're gonna look at the graph afterwards to see if your speed's increased throughout the 1 minute. When you hear the music, you may start. 3, 2, 1. How'd you do?
That was rough.
Really bad.
51. So, you know, longer tests are going to have slower scores, 72.
72.
But I think we could argue that it started pretty slow and we gradually got up. You know, you fluctuated in the start and you got in your groove. And look at this. Like if you took from here on, you'd probably be in 80 to 90. Tim, how'd you do?
It got worse.
You were very consistently terrible through most of it. You know, you're really screwing up my test here, man. So we set them up at 120 beats per minute. And while we didn't see like direct number results, if you actually look at the graph, you can see it steadily rising throughout. And you could kind of see when Adam was typing. He was bobbing his head. The keyboard was moving. Everything looked really good because he got in the zone. So I've realized I type the best when I kind of get into a flow, and music can really help with that. But I also kind of want to think of a keyboard as an instrument. I've heard musicians say things like, I'm never not playing my instrument. Driving, boarding class, they're visualized playing something like a saxophone, their drums, their piano. So if you can do that, why can't you do it with a keyboard? On my commute, sometimes I'll listen to a song and just be typing the lyrics out in my head. Does that sound dumb? Yeah, I know it does, and I'm fine with it, to be honest. Maybe I was a little too confident in how fast I could improve scores, but I found a way that guarantees you can type faster within 1 work week. Let me show you how. Over the last work week, I took 6 studio members and gave them some more serious exercises to improve their typing speeds, and I'm super happy with the results. Each workday, they'd spent 10 minutes in the morning, 10 minutes in the afternoon, doing a couple exercises, and then would take a test at the end of the day, and we recorded all their results. And to my surprise, every single one of them improved. And not only did they improve, but we actually had 3 of them break 100 words per minute for their first time ever, which was cool to watch. 2 of them almost doubled their scores. If you're interested in how they practiced, I left all those exercises in the bottom of the video, but I've got one more thing. Come here. Since I'm still the fastest typist in the studio, I like to make sure that everyone here knows it, you know, for team morale. Thanks to today's sponsor, Nebula. What do you think of that score, Marques? Sheesh. I just typed that with my feet. But to learn a little more about Nebula, let's move over to our resident projector expert.
Thanks, Andrew. This is a 4K 3500 ANSI lumen triple laser projector, the Nebula X1, which is also the sponsor of today's video. Check this out. No matter where you use this projector, it has full spatial adaptation that formats the screen. And thanks to the micro gimbal and optical zoom built into this thing, you can freely adjust the screen to fit just about any wall. If it's not obvious yet, this thing is mobile. We have the X1 with its Cinema Kit, which comes with wireless speakers and a microphone. And get this, with those 2 speakers in the right configuration, you can actually play back 4.1.2 audio streams. Speaking of sound, I know some people are really worried about their projector being too loud, but guess what? This thing uses liquid cooling to get quieter fan speeds. It's cool to the touch no matter where you touch it. The X1 is light, bright, and absolutely packed with features, just like how this video is packed with savings. From May 21st to June 20th, you can get $700 off their bundle. And if you like this video and want to see some more keyboards, check out the desk makeover video we did a couple weeks ago.